4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
It's so hard also to be the woman in a situation where you're like, men just don't get as much scrutiny. Like they can maybe tell him like your fucking shots suck tonight, but like the looks and all of that is just like not a factor of conversation as much.
No.
Did you talk to Steph about it? Like, or did you kind of keep it within yourself so it didn't?
I do not have a bone in my body that can keep anything to myself. So if it comes to mind, it's coming out. And he's so gracious. Like he tries to resonate with me, but he just can't.
Aww. Wow.
And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career.
And that right there is the reason why God say sometimes women don't know what they want. That right there.
Well,
but I'm going to let you talk.
My question would be, why are you even doing interviews? Like, what is the point of you doing actual interviews? Like, I mean, who wants? I mean, who's booking you for interview? Why are we seeing you?
What, do you got a book coming? Are you launching something?
My point exactly. So she's saying, oh, well, I want to have my own thing and I want to do my own thing and I like to do other things too. Well, what are you doing these interviews for? Are you letting us, is that what you're doing? Are you coming out with something? Are you going to start something? I still think it's very much possible to still be able to have your life and still be a wife and still be a mom and still do your other things. You know, if you want to do a cooking show, do a cooking show. Why can't you do that? Why is she making it seem like she can't do any of those things with being a wife and a mom? You know, when I see plenty of wives and moms still doing their own thing. So what's really stopping her from doing her own thing?
Right, and that's disrespectful. If I was married and my wife get on TV, on podcasts talking like that, that's very disrespectful. You know what I mean? That showed that she don't really respect him like that. You know, when you go like, I don't know, he seemed like he cared, but he don't, he be asking why, that's not something that you know, you're going to talk about in public and stuff like that. So I just feel like that's crazy. But like we say, the topic is, I feel like, do you think like she needed a whole phase, like she ain't go through that? You know what I mean? Because she kind of said she was young, straight out of college or whatever, and then she got married and boom, she got a beautiful relationship. I'm not going to say beautiful, but a relationship that a lot of women feel, you know, they should have.
Me, in my personal opinion, I don't think nobody need a whole phase, okay? And I wouldn't even call it a whole phase, because a whole phase means you're just out here sleeping with all these different men trying to figure out who's the best. So, no, I don't think that women or young women need a whole phase, but I do think that it is good to date and to allow yourself to be courted by different guys, because how are you going to know what's good and what's not good? You know, how are you going to know that? So I do think it's very important to be able to date other guys prior to, you know, choosing one person. In her case, especially if you're not sure this is what you want, because that's basically what it sounds like. She's not sure that she wanted him to be her husband. And so in her defense, I do feel like she definitely should have been more explorative. You know, she should have been able to explore different guys, go on plenty of dates. You know, that could be the reason why she feel like, you know, things are not working out well for her and her, you know, her family and things like, her relationship. So a whole phase, no, but, you know, getting out there and, you know, exploring. And
I agree with you. I mean, when people say a whole phase, I think we get caught up in the etymology of the word. Experience. She should have been out there experiencing bad relationships and different all kinds of things to know that she got something that's good that a lot of people wish they could have. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when we say whole phase, we're not really getting caught up in like she should be out there hoeing and doing all that kind of stuff, but she should have definitely had experience to know that you got a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Everything not gonna be perfect regardless of what relationship you're gonna get into. You know, you got to make it happen yourself. At least you got a home, you got a husband with, you know, financial stability, so you can get out there and do what you want to do. Like you said, a cooking show, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And do what you got to do. You ain't got to wait on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he ain't going to be playing basketball forever.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly, you know. And this is my last take on the whole situation with the marriages.
Right.
Ayesha, a marriage is all about sacrifice. You know, this is what you sign up for when you become one with your partner. You make sacrifices. And we got a call. Get It Off Your Chest podcast.
Hotline, who we got on the phone?
This is Shay.
Hey, Shay, how's it going, girl?
What's going on, Shay?
I'm doing well. This gonna be my first time disagreeing with y'all for real.
Okay.
Because I feel like y'all opinion on this Ayesha Curry thing is trash. just straight trash.
Okay.
Straight garbage. Like, I can't believe. Like, but y'all cool people. Y'all cool people.
Okay, come on with it. Come on with it.
My opinion is that they trying to do Ayesha Curry the way that they did Jada, where, you know, because I'm a Jada apologist. I'll admit to that. But pretty much this is just a woman who is loved by her husband and is loved by her husband enough to speak honestly, you know, about her marriage or whatever. And it's like this thing as people who are not in that Hollywood, you know, type of situation. It's like she living a dream, she living a whatever. But all she did was say a normal thing that most women at one you know, point or another, you know, eventually say, where they say, oh, I don't want, you know, being a mother to be all of my identity or a wife to be all of my identity. So she's essentially saying like, dang, I was 21 years old, you know, and I was expecting to enjoy this time with my husband, and I was immediately a mother. And then I was immediately with this man who was a star, and so I was immediately this person's wife or whatever. And so she's literally sitting there talking about herself as a person or whatever, and y'all still kind of tying her to Steph or whatever. And so, I don't know, this just seems like a woman who's just like, oh, I'm speaking about my experience, and I just feel like the community done read too much into it.
Yeah, I just feel like if she, in my understanding, if she's gonna be doing, you know, these talk shows, and she's gonna be getting herself out there on the camera and want to be seen and want to be known and want to be vocal, at least do what you're saying you're not able to do. At least be on these podcasts and all these shows and be vocal about, hey, this is how I feel, this is how I felt, but this is what I'm doing to kind of overcome that, you know. So if she's complaining about not having her own identity and not being able to be outside of a wife and a mom, well, this is your opportunity to do that. Right. You know, is there a book? Is there a cooking show? Is there a clothing brand?
She has done those things.
Well, whatever it is that she wants to do outside of being a mom and a wife, introduce that while you're out doing this, while you're speaking on that. Give us something so that we can see that you are not just soaking in your misery. You know, so if you're miserable and you're upset about this whole and you upset about this whole, oh, I can't do anything outside of being a mom and a wife. Well, while you're out and you're on the news and on TV and doing all of this, introduce us to something. Introduce us to what you want to do.
Well,
then.
she's had a cooking show before. She's had like, look, I think she's had books and stuff like that as well.
Well, that's what she
I'm
needs
just
to
like, it's a
focus on.
situation.
That's
Hold on
what-
one moment. It's just a situation where what am I trying to say? Like, y'all are expecting this woman to not be a human being and have the same experience that everyday women have or whatever. And so I don't know. It's just weird. Like, people are bringing sex into it. People are bringing that she's unhappy into it. And it's just like, when did she say that?
Yeah. Well,
Like, what does the whole phase have to do with the fact that she's just like, oh yeah, I became a mother at the age of 21? Like, didn't most of our parents become parents too young?
Mm-hmm. So it seems like she
And
just
so it's
wants
just
us to
like-
hear her story. I mean, she seems like she wants us to hear her story. But
I feel like they did. I get what you're saying, but I feel like this is honestly just people dick riding Steph Curry. Like, they want to be, if you, not you, but if like, because it's mostly dudes who are upset about this. I'm like, if you want to be Steph Curry wife, go have a go at it or whatever. But we don't know what their relationship is like. We don't know what their family life is like. But obviously, she feels safe and loved enough to speak on her honest experience. So that's my thoughts on it.
All right, Shay, what do you think about, because this is not her first time. Remember, like a few years ago, she said she was lusting over other dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, like she wants other dudes
Lusting
or
over her.
something like that.
She wanted other guys. She said she don't want the attention, but it'll be nice to know that, she's attractive and people like her. And in so many words, he gets all this attention and all these women are throwing themselves at him. However, she don't have people throwing themselves at her. Not that she said this, not that she wants that, but she said it'll be nice to know that she's desirable.
All right, I think the call ended. I think Shay ended, but we thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shay.
Thank you for the call. I just feel like, it is kind of crazy, and I feel like, just to hop on that topic one more time, I feel like if you get in a relationship with Oprah, you got to know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
Because she a huge star. So obviously wherever you're going to go, people going to ask you, if you get in a relationship with a Beyonce or somebody who's a superstar, you know what I'm saying? The conversation is always going to be like, okay, that question is going to come up. And I feel like that what come with dating somebody who a high profile, that just come with it. We can't expect everything to be all good and dandy. That part of the show, so to speak.
And I think what Shay was trying to say is people are like looking, just basically riding off Steph Curry's back because he's this big celebrity and these are his fans. And in her case, he wasn't a big star when they were together. So, she's just speaking from just a wife perspective in a normal relationship. And, people are probably attacking her because they're Steph Curry fans and they feel like that, he deserves more respect. And that's just what happens when you put people into your marriage. You give people room to give an opinion on your marriage and create these ideas about you. That's why I'm saying is if she's going to talk about what she's going through, at least come back with how you're overcoming that. And this is what you're doing now, So don't make it about, make it seem as if, or speaking on it as if, you're unhappy or, that's because that's what the public is going to think anyway. You speaking on it, you giving people a platform or opportunity to have an opinion on your marriage, which that alone I disagree with. You know what I mean? If you are happy, if I am happy with my husband and my family and my life and I'm secure, I'm not going to sit here and continue to remind millions of people that this is not what I wanted.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to keep on reminding people this is not what I wanted and my life's supposed to be different. I'm not going to do that because if you understand marriage, you understand that marriage is a sacrificial thing. You have to sometimes put yourself on the back burner for your kids, for your husband. That's what you sign up for when you get married, So
Exactly,
You
and
know.
regardless of what a relationship, what relationship you're gonna be in, there gonna be some advantages and some disadvantages. So Carla, you were right. I guess some people are taking on be like
Yeah.
Steph Curry fans,
His
and they just
fans.
kind of don't want to hear nothing negative being said about him. But I
Right.
feel like at the same time, whatever relationship you're gonna get into, there gonna be some advantages and some disadvantages. So when we people are looking from the outside looking in, they're weighing it out. They're like, okay, but you in a good situation, and they
Right.
kind of like this, biting the lid, like, don't mess it up now. You know what I'm saying? Because it feel like it been going on for a while. But that's just how I feel about that.
Yeah,
You can't go out there and be talking like that about your
Yeah.
man.
And I feel like, if he don't mind it and it's not bothering him, then hey,
Hey, that's
who are y'all to say anything? If
True.
he's not taking it the way y'all taking it, then that's his life. That's his wife. Regardless of what it is or how and regardless of what's going on, that's his wife. And one thing I hope and pray for their in regards to their marriage is that hopefully that this whole social media thing and everybody's opinions and all of these viral clips don't
infiltrate.
Yeah, don't
Could-
don't pierce
yeah.
their marriage in any type of way. Hopefully they can fight through it. Hopefully they're God fearing people, and hopefully they can make it through, because I love black love, and I hope they can last, because the divorce rate is out the roof. So I hope that she can fix it. I hope she come out with something. Show us how you are getting back to you, and you're coming out with this, and you're doing things that you've always wanted to do. Show us how your husband supports you doing the things that you've always wanted to do. So hopefully, she turns it around, for a good headline.
All right. No, for sure. That's what's up. Shout outs to the both of them, though.